Obviously this device is a combined OCT and colour fundus camera. You can of course just use the fundus camera. So when you're in capture mode like so, you can just click here on FC. You can also do the same on the screen on the device itself. So if I click on FC for fundus camera mode, we then have several options. We have the normal fundus camera image, which is a 12 megapixel fully diabetic accredited image. You can also do stereo photography of the disc, which is particularly good for glaucoma clinics. And you can do panoramic views. In those circumstances, I would recommend dilation, but it will take 7 images around prefix points, which will give you a large stitched together photograph going beyond 60 degrees field of view. And the image software, the image wizard, allows you to stitch those together quite easily. As well as fundus photography, you can of course do anterior photography too, which we'll do in a moment. But I'll start by capturing a normal colour fundus image. So we'll click on here, ready? So if you just look at the fixation target when you see that. So I'm going to line up with the patient's eye. Once it's in position, it should auto focus and auto capture like so. Very good indeed, that's an excellent image. And I'll just capture an anterior image as well. So I click on anterior. It tells me to pull out the compensation lens, which I'll now do, and line up with the patient's eye and capture the image like so. Thank you very much. Switch back to normal after you've taken an anterior image first, and then it will tell you to put the compensation lens back in, which you should do after you've clicked on normal. So obviously now we've taken colour fundus images, we can, if we wish, take fundus autofluorescence images or FAF images. To do this, we click just under where it says colour and click on FAF, and the screen now says charging. It's a very, very bright green flash of particular wavelength, which causes the RPE in certain conditions to actually fluoresce brightly, which might be a sign of things like diabetic retinopathy or macular degeneration. It's what we call hyperfluorescence. And where there is hypofluorescence, that's a sign that the RPE cells, retinal pigment epithelial cells, aren't actually present. And of course, therefore, neither are the photoreceptors. Unfortunately, in those circumstances, those areas won't see. So fundus autofluorescence can be very, very useful to check the functional health of the retinal pigment epithelial cells, and can be an added diagnostic tool in our armoury. Of course, we've seen fundus camera capture in automated mode. We can also take manual colour fundus images. This may be necessary if we have a patient who's got problems again with lens opacities, but also if we find a specific lesion at a point that we'd like to focus on. So to do that, obviously we click on manual mode here on the screen, and then we line the patient up as normal. So if you just look straight ahead, that's fine. Now we bring the camera into position, and as you can see on the screen here, there are 2 white bars that are not actually touching each other, they're not in line. If we use the focusing wheel on the device though, if we turn it so that they're now in line and then press the button, we'll have a focused fundus image. Now another thing that you can do in manual mode is to actually move the fixation. So we can quickly click fixation points here on the actual OCT screen to move fixation, or using the mouse again, we can grab the fixation circle and move that to a different position. So let's say I move that so that we get the disc closer to the center of the image. And again, I just adjust the focus and press the button, and that will have captured an image slightly off center as I required.